Hello, my name is Kimberly Gonzalez, and today I'll be talking about niacin in growing and maintaining waterfowl. Primarily, we're going to be talking about ducks used as pets or as food. So niacin is also known as vitamin B3. It is required in growing waterfowl as well as in adults. It is more important while they are growing because it does aid in their development. However, it is still needed in their maintenance diet as they are full adults. A niacin deficiency shows symptoms such as wry leg, which you can see on the bottom right of this page. The chick to the left has a niacin deficiency, and there you can see what it has done to the development of its legs. The one on the right is normal and growing as it should. It also shows in forms of lethargy or refusal to eat or drink. When they are at that point, it's very hard to reverse the symptoms because they're not eating or drinking, which is where they would get this supplement. So without the help of a vet, it's very hard to reverse at that point. Within 2 weeks, chicks may also die from niacin deficiency just due to how weak they get. Some natural sources of niacin are peas, sweet potato, fish, pumpkin, and yeasts. The main form of yeast people use for poultry is brewer's yeast. It's technically a form of fungus that has been harvested for several different uses, but it's a very potent way of bringing in some niacin. You can also buy it as a supplement from drugstores. However, if you want to stay in a more natural course, peas are probably the most common thing people give to waterfowl. They also really like it, so that's a great way to boost their levels. In my opinion, the best way to mitigate niacin deficiencies is to just start with proper growth and starters. So when you get chicks, they should be first put on a starter diet and then moved into a grower diet. The difference between those two is more in the protein content. If chicks are fed too much protein, they get wry neck, which it deforms their neck in a way just because the protein is too much in their system, so it kind of stops development at some point because their body tries to grow too fast, so that doesn't work. But they are both very high in niacin. Both should be around at the same levels of 55 milligrams per kilogram. These feeds should be given as like free food, so as much as your duckling will eat as it's growing is perfect. And then in a maintenance feed, it is a little bit less, but it's still, as you can see, the level is not so much so different. It's only 15% or 15 milligrams lower. So it is still a very important part of their diet, and these deficiencies can happen even as adults. So just make sure that even after they are done growing, you still maintain proper levels of niacin in their diet. I personally feel that as well as just getting proper food, I like to give supplements to my chicks as they're growing either way. So I'll offer them treats such as greens, peas, things like that, just to make sure that they're getting the levels they require. Let's say if they're not eating all of their food, they can still get it in form of treats, which they really like. Just be sure that if you are feeding these two chicks, that you do offer grit, which is some form of dirt. A lot of people will give chick grit or whatever dirt that you are going to be keeping these birds on as adults. If you're keeping them outside, you can offer a bowl of that, just because they do require that in their crop to be able to digest foods that are not in form of pellets. These are my sources, and thank you for listening.